in this category, guys. I mean, obviously, Baker has found it in Tampa, not only a home, but back to being the quarterback that when he was taken number 1 overall, everybody thought he could be. This is kind of more glass half empty question, but how much regression can we expect from Baker after such a great season?
A little over 7% touchdown rate last season. His previous career high was 5.6. Last year was at 7.2. So I don't want to say he got lucky because he played at a very high level, but I think their defense will be a little bit better, and I do think the emergence of Bucky Irving means it's probably a little bit more of a balanced offense. So I do think that the touchdown rate comes down. It just has to, right, in terms of how their offense works, in terms of just sort of how probability works. 72% of their touchdowns last year came via the pass. That's a really high rate. We're not sure of the health of Chris Godwin as we sit here today. Having said that, if Baker Mayfield's touchdown passes come down, okay. Because over the last 2 years, no quarterback, literally no quarterback in the NFL has had more touchdown passes than Baker Mayfield. So if it comes to, he's got room to grow. Like, he's got room to come down and still be a very, very effective quarterback. I'm a QB7. The thing that I like the addition of Emeka Egbuka, who looks, Connor, I know when you looked at the tape, you're like, this is a pro-ready wide receiver. Yeah. And all the reports out of camp are like, oh, yeah.
A top 15 player for me, and somebody that what you loved is how pro-ready he was. He's smart, he's athletic, he understands how to attack zone. They looked at Chris Godwin's injury and said, let's get ahead of this and be a little careful. Godwin's going to be back, but Egbuka can play right away. I think he could be a borderline star in this league.
You add that to Jalen McMillan. You add that to the ageless Mike Evans. You add that to Cade Otton, who emerged somewhat last year. Bucky Irving and Rachaad White, both nice pass catchers out of the backfield. Yeah. And, oh, by the way, last year Baker Mayfield averaged over 20 rushing yards a game, the first time he's done that. Like, he added a little bit with his legs last year. It felt like last year he was more prone to tucking and running than he had been previously in his career. I know that Liam Cohen is now in Jacksonville, but it's the same offensive system. I love Baker this year as my QB7. I don't have any questions. I'm not concerned about the touchdown regression. It will come, but I still think he's going to be pretty elite.
My only question is Tristan Wirfs.
That's my number one question.
That's the only thing. And if he's out for 4 weeks and then is a little gimpy coming back the next couple of weeks, that's a concern. Because they play it's like Texans, Jets, and Eagles are 3 of their first 4 games. Like, those aren't the defenses that you want to not have Tristan Wirfs against. But if they do get fully healthy and Godwin is back to being Chris Godwin after a month, I think people sleep on the Bucs a little bit because it's it's Baker Mayfield and he's not Josh Allen and it's, Todd Bowles and it's the NFC South. There are worlds where this is the best offense in football. And I don't think people think about the Bucs in that way. They were a top 5 offense last year. I think they've gotten better. And the other thing with Baker is he just never misses games.
No, I know.
He plays hurt, and he plays every game, which is not something you can say for everyone.
And I would say just that's one of the reasons why, no question about Wirfs, is that's not a great injury, right? But I look at it in a slightly different way, which is that, first off, Baker is a mobile and veteran quarterback. So he's going to be able to look at the line and adjust. And the other thing is that they know about this. This isn't Wirfs leaving after 3 plays in the first game or at the end of the last preseason game. You're like, oh, damn.
Right.
They know this now. They've got the entire preseason to know, look, for the first month of the season, we're probably without Tristan Wirfs. So, okay, how do we adjust? How do we adjust our protections? What kind of chips are we going to use with our tight ends? We're going to do more 2 tight end sets. Does Rachaad White, who they like in pass pro, does he get more run early on? They're looking at that and aware of it and going to adjust for that. So while it's not ideal, I do think it could be worse.
We'll have more Baker talk later on in the show when we look at the passing yards projected leader.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.